The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best." You've probably heard the saying, "You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." Today, we will explore this idea through a Stoic lens. We'll discuss the 7 types of people who can derail your progress in Stoic philosophy and how to navigate these challenging relationships. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you would like the video to help me continue spreading Stoic philosophy. If you haven't subscribed, I recommend you do so and activate the bell so you don't miss any videos. Number 1. The complainer. We all have that friend, family member, or co-worker who finds fault in everything. Whether it's the weather, their job, or the food at a popular restaurant, they never miss an opportunity to express dissatisfaction. Now you might wonder, why should this concern me? I can just ignore them. Well, that's easier said than done. Consistent exposure to such negativity drains your mental well-being. It's like a leaky faucet, slowly depleting your reservoir of emotional energy. Stoicism teaches us to focus on actionable solutions instead of dwelling on problems. Imagine collaborating on a project with a perpetual complainer. Each meeting turns into an exhausting session of complaints, without any constructive dialogue. The team's morale declines, and you're sidetracked from finding actionable solutions, leaving you increasingly disenchanted with the project, and possibly even life in general. So, how does Stoicism help us deal with a complainer? There are several strategies you can employ. First, limit your exposure to this individual whenever possible. If that's not an option, perhaps because they're a family member or colleague, mentally distance yourself during their diatribes. Think of their complaints as a passing storm, loud and unsettling, but ultimately temporary and powerless against the unmovable mountain that is your inner tranquility. Your third option is to steer the conversation towards solutions or change the subject to something more constructive. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This timeless Stoic wisdom encourages us to guard our mental peace diligently, ensuring that the negativity from chronic complainers doesn't deviate us from our Stoic path of resilience and virtue. Type of people number 2, the drama magnet. Imagine navigating your life as a ship sailing through calm waters, only to encounter the whirlpool known as the drama magnet. This individual seems to have an unending series of crises, conflicts, or controversies, and like a whirlpool, they have an unsettling ability to suck you into their vortex of chaos. Initially, you might find yourself attracted to the drama magnet's energy, mistaking it for passion or excitement. However, you soon realize that being in their sphere is like navigating a ship through a storm, exhausting and dangerous. What makes dealing with drama magnets tricky is that their crises often feel like your own. Their chaos is infectious. You might find yourself embroiled in conflicts you had no part in. For example, you have a friend who has frequent fallouts with others in your social circle. Today they're not talking to Sarah. Tomorrow, it's Tom. Your friend comes to you for advice, but you notice this cycle never ends, and suddenly you find yourself also at odds with Sarah or Tom because you tried to intervene. In this case, you could employ reflective listening. Instead of offering advice or taking sides, mirror their words back to them. For example, if they say, "I can't believe Sarah said that about me," you could respond, "So, you're feeling betrayed by Sarah's words." This technique allows you to provide emotional support without getting entangled in the drama yourself. Another approach is to become selectively unavailable. Stoicism reminds us to value our time highly, and sometimes that means being unavailable for other people's crises, especially if they're recurring without resolution. Turn off your phone during certain hours. Create focus periods where you concentrate solely on your work or personal development, and let it be known that during these times, you're not to be disturbed. To paraphrase Seneca, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. This can be particularly helpful when dealing with drama magnets. Instead of anxiously wondering what crisis will happen next, concentrate on the present moment where you have control. Enjoy your life and don't let it be disrupted by someone else's drama. Make it a point to sail your ship calmly, steering clear of whirlpools that threaten your voyage towards personal growth and tranquility. Type of people number 3, the naysayer. Picture this. You're an artist painting a canvas. Each brushstroke adds color, depth, and life to your vision. Enter the Naysayer. They walk into your studio, glance at your work, and immediately begin to critique it. Are you sure about that color? That doesn't look realistic. You know, most artists never make it, right? Their words, like strokes of gray paint, start to dull your vibrant canvas. This isn't your standard constructive criticism, which can be valuable. Instead, it's a persistent aura of doubt and negativity. For example, let's say you're excited about pursuing a new career path. You've done your research, spoken to professionals in the field, and maybe even taken a few preliminary courses. When you share your enthusiasm with the Naysayer, they quickly list all the reasons it won't work out. The market is too competitive. Do you have the right skills? What if you fail? Soon enough, their doubts start to feel like your own, and the self-assured vision you had begins to wobble. How do you deal with a Naysayer, especially when they might be someone close to you? One unconventional but effective method is to ask them for advice, rather than just sharing your plans or aspirations. When people are put in an advisory role, they're less likely to attack your ideas outright and may offer more constructive feedback. Another method involves flipping the script through positive confrontation. Instead of absorbing their negativity, challenge them to think of solutions. If they say, "You'll never be able to switch careers at this stage," counter with, "Interesting perspective. How do you think someone could successfully make a career change then?" This not only deflects the negativity, but also encourages a more constructive form of conversation. Remember the words of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus: "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Listening doesn't mean absorbing everyone's negativity. It means discerning valuable input from mere noise. When the naysayers start to cloud your canvas with their shades of doubt, take a step back, listen, reflect, and continue painting your own life with the colors that speak to you. Don't let anyone turn your vibrant masterpiece into a dull, gray landscape. Type of people number 4, the victim. Imagine life as a game of chess. Each player has the same pieces and the same goal: to checkmate the opponent's king. You think strategically, make some sacrifices, and take some risks. The victim, however, blames the board, the pieces, or even their opponent for every poor move they make. In their eyes, they're perpetually in checkmate, not because of their choices, but because of some external force working against them. Their narrative is a never-ending tale of woe, with themselves cast as the helpless protagonist. "I can't get ahead in my job because my boss dislikes me," or "I can't get fit because I have bad genetics." It's crucial to note that some people face genuine hardships and systemic issues. However, the victim we're discussing uses their predicament as a permanent excuse, refusing to take any responsibility for their actions or lack thereof. You might find yourself entangled in their storyline, perhaps as the supporting character who constantly needs to rescue them. Let's say you've spent countless hours listening to a friend blame their endless string of failed relationships entirely on their ex-partners. Not only does this suck up your time, but it can also subtly encourage you to adopt a similar victim mindset in your own life. So what's your move when dealing with a victim? It might be tempting to become their savior, offering endless advice and emotional support. But the Stoics would caution against this. They'd recommend drawing a firm boundary to protect your own mental state. You could employ a technique known as compassionate detachment. Show empathy and kindness, but don't try to rescue them from situations they need to navigate themselves. Offer a listening ear, but refrain from becoming their perpetual problem solver. Instead, encourage them to take actionable steps toward their own solutions. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." By setting an example through your own actions and attitudes, you can inspire the victim to adopt a more proactive and resilient mindset. Type of people number 5, the gossip. Imagine a serene lake, clear and undisturbed, reflecting the beauty of the surrounding nature. Now picture someone tossing a handful of pebbles into the water, causing ripples that distort the reflection. The gossip is that person, disrupting the tranquility of your mind with their constant stream of rumors and speculation. Gossipers thrive on spreading unverified information and stirring up drama. They often draw you into conversations that are unproductive and potentially harmful. You might find yourself entangled in someone else's business, forming opinions based on hearsay, and even damaging your relationships with others. For instance, a co-worker might constantly share rumors about other employees. "Did you hear that John is on the verge of being fired? I heard that Sarah is having issues at home." Engaging in these conversations not only wastes your time, but also fosters a toxic work environment. How can you deal with a gossip? One approach is to change the subject whenever the conversation veers toward gossip. Redirect the discussion to something more positive or neutral. If the gossiper insists on continuing, politely excuse yourself from the conversation. Another tactic is to practice mindful disengagement. When someone starts gossiping, mentally distance yourself from the content. Imagine the gossip as noise in the background. Acknowledge its presence, but don't let it capture your attention or influence your thoughts. Epictetus advised, keep company with people who uplift you. Seek out relationships with individuals who focus on constructive and meaningful conversations. Surround yourself with those who inspire you to grow and become a better version of yourself. Type of people. Number 6. The envious. Envy is a powerful emotion that can poison relationships and hinder personal growth. The envious person constantly compares themselves to others, resenting their successes and feeling threatened by their achievements. Imagine working hard to achieve a personal goal, only to have a friend downplay your success or express thinly veiled jealousy. You got the promotion? Must be nice to have connections. Their envy can make you feel guilty for your accomplishments and even question your own worth. Dealing with an envious person requires a delicate balance of empathy and boundary setting. First, recognize that their envy is rooted in their own insecurities and has little to do with you. Approach the situation with compassion, but don't allow their negativity to diminish your achievements. You can address their behavior directly but tactfully. For example, if they make a snide comment about your promotion, you could say, I worked really hard for this, and I'm proud of what I've achieved. I hope you can be happy for me. Another strategy is to minimize the time you spend discussing your successes with them. Share your accomplishments with supportive friends and family members who will celebrate with you without jealousy. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." Focus on your own growth and contentment, and surround yourself with people who uplift rather than undermine you. Type of people. Number 7. The manipulator. Manipulators are skilled at bending situations to their advantage, often at your expense. They might use flattery, guilt, or deceit to get what they want, leaving you feeling used and undervalued. Imagine a friend who always seems to need a favor, but rarely reciprocates. They might flatter you to gain your assistance, saying things like, "You're the only one I can trust with this," or guilt trip you with statements like, "I don't know what I'll do if you don't help me." Over time, you realize that your relationship is one-sided, with the manipulator always taking and seldom giving. How can you handle a manipulator? Start by setting clear boundaries. Be firm and assertive when you say no to unreasonable requests. You don't need to justify your decisions extensively. Keep your explanations brief and to the point. It's also important to recognize and trust your instincts. If something feels off about a person's intentions, take a step back and evaluate the situation objectively. Manipulators often rely on your doubt and hesitation to gain control. Marcus Aurelius advised, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Stay true to your values and integrity, and don't let the manipulator's tactics change who you are. By maintaining your principles and asserting your boundaries, you protect yourself from their influence. In conclusion, the people we surround ourselves with significantly impact our mental and emotional well-being. By recognizing and managing relationships with complainers, drama magnets, naysayers, victims, gossipers, the envious, and manipulators, we can cultivate a more positive and supportive social environment. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, our own thoughts, actions, and attitudes. By applying these principles to our interactions, we can navigate challenging relationships with grace and resilience, ultimately fostering our own growth and tranquility. And remember, if you are looking to elevate your life, don't forget to support us by hitting the like and subscribe button. Until next time.